Good morning and a warm welcome to your show, Sunny Mornings in Encinitas. We're the daily podcast that gets you started on the right foot and always with a positive vibe. I'm your host, Melissa, and it's Wednesday, February 21st. You'll be interested to know today is National Sticky Buns Day. Originally known as Schnecken, these confections are a Philadelphia specialty, believed to have been introduced by German settlers in the 18th century. Though typically a breakfast item, sticky buns are also known as cinnamon rolls, caramel rolls, or monkey bread. Yes, please. Now grab yourself a sticky bun and a coffee while we check out the weather in the Encinitas area. This morning, it's rainy and 55 degrees with 6-mile-per-hour wind. The sunset will take place at 5:39 p.m., and it will rise again tomorrow at 6:24 a.m. It looks like we're in for a chance of showers before 11 a.m., then partly sunny with a high near 60 and west wind 5 to 10 mile per hour. Chance of precipitation is 50%, with new rain amounts of less than 1/10 of an inch. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 52. And northwest wind around 5 mile per hour. And now, the surf report. The west swell is easing, but still providing solid surf at some spots, aside from the rain. Expect head-high to overhead waves, particularly at better winter spots. Morning conditions will see well overhead waves decreasing throughout the day. Light to moderate west-northwest wind are expected. The surf will continue to ease towards the weekend, with a modest new west-northwest swell possible later Friday. Conditions look favorable, especially in the mornings, with a trend towards smaller surf by the end of next weekend. Wednesday in Encinitas and North County, it's looking rough for the most part, at 4 to 5 feet, with clean conditions from 6 to 9 a.m. at a 5-foot incoming high tide. Best time to ride will be in the morning with 6-mile-per-hour wind. Everything after 10 is looking unrideable. Air temps for the morning surf are around 55 degrees. The first high tide Wednesday will be 5 feet just after 7 a.m. with a -1 foot low tide at 2:15 p.m. The nearshore buoy at Scripps in La Jolla reads 60 degrees for the water temperature. Looking ahead in the weather, we'll see a mostly sunny end to the week with highs around 60 degrees and gentle northwest wind. Nights will be partly to mostly cloudy with lows in the low 50s. The weekend brings partly sunny skies, a slight chance of rain on Sunday, and highs near 61 degrees. Bonjour, food enthusiasts. This podcast is brought to you by Versailles Cafe and Pastries in Encinitas. Nestled on El Camino Real South, just north of Encinitas Boulevard, this cafe is a haven for culinary delights. Indulge in their amazing Eggs Benedict or their gluten-free crepes. You can grab a panini for lunch or just breeze on through to get your morning coffee. They are open every day from 8 to 5. So stop on by and don't forget to tell them Sunny Morning sent you. In local news, President Joe Biden approved a major disaster declaration for San Diego County following the devastating storms in January. This federal declaration enables residents and business owners in the hardest-hit areas to access grants, low-cost loans, and other recovery programs. The storm, which occurred on January 22nd, resulted in over 800 damaged homes. California Governor Gavin Newsom affirmed the White House's commitment to aid California in times of disaster. The funds are designated for temporary housing, home repairs, and covering uninsured property losses. In response, local officials have been assessing damage and advocating for FEMA's disaster declaration. Public infrastructure and several schools in San Diego County suffered extensive damage, with estimated costs reaching millions. The city of San Diego plans to collaborate with FEMA and state emergency services to establish disaster recovery centers. Now on to sports. The college football playoff has adopted a new 5+7 format for its 12-team expanded playoff. This system includes 5 automatic qualifying spots for the highest-ranked conference champions and 7 at-large spots. The shift from the original 6+6 model occurred after the Pac-12 was reduced to 2 members. The College Football Board of Managers, which includes a university president from each of the 10 FBS leagues, and Notre Dame, unanimously supported this change. The Pac-12, despite falling short of the membership minimum for an automatic berth, benefits from increased at-large spots. The expanded playoff begins next season with the 4 highest-ranked conference champions receiving byes into the quarterfinals. First-round games will start the 3rd week of December, competing with the NFL. Quarterfinals are scheduled for New Year's, with semifinals in mid-January to avoid clashing with the NFL's Wild Card weekend. The championship game is set for January 20th, 2025. This format will be in place for at least the next 2 years. No basketball last night, but in national hockey, the Kings at home smoked the Blue Jackets 5-1. Tonight, the Ducks are at home to take on the Blue Jackets. In top news, have you ever heard of aptonyms? It's when your name eerily aligns with your career. Take Frank Fish, a marine biologist, or Carla Dove, who leads the feather identification lab at the Smithsonian, handling all things avian. Greg Pond, an aquatic biologist, echoes this unique coincidence, his surname mirroring his water-focused career. These are not isolated instances, but part of a fascinating pattern where names can curiously link to professions. This phenomenon extends to other areas too, like Betsy Weatherhead, an atmospheric scientist, and Jay Suk-chung, a blue crab researcher. Their names, unexpectedly, have become significant parts of their professional identity, sometimes even influencing opportunities. While some might see these names as mere coincidences, studies suggest there might be subtle psychological influences at play, with people possibly gravitating towards careers that reflect their names. In a world where names often blend into the background, for these individuals, their names stand out, adding a memorable twist to their professional journeys. In business news, in the finance world, cash remains king. Despite expectations of its decline, cash is holding strong, with investors pouring $128 billion into U.S. money market funds since the year's start. Corporate treasurers are also holding on to cash, with a record $4.4 trillion in reserves by the 3rd quarter's end. This surge in cash holdings contrasts sharply with earlier predictions that cash would lose appeal once the Federal Reserve started cutting interest rates. However, with policy easing expectations dialed back, cash remains attractive, especially in money market funds, offering returns of 4% or more. This trend isn't just a fleeting phenomenon. It's a reflection of a broader shift in financial attitudes post-pandemic, with more people recognizing the value of liquidity and safety in cash holdings. Investors and corporations alike are reevaluating their strategies, keeping cash in the spotlight for 2024. In crypto movement, Bitcoin is currently just under $52,000. Ethereum is up to $3,000. And Solana is $106. Moving on to a more local vibe. In our community spotlight on health and wellness, we are working with a National Pilates studio to bring you some free classes, so listen up. Check out Club Pilates, with several locations in the San Diego area. Pilates presents a comprehensive wellness approach, cultivating strength, reducing tension, and elevating mental well-being. Scientific research affirms its benefits. So now you can check out Club Pilates for a free class, with locations in Encinitas, Solana Beach, Oceanside, La Jolla, and more. Just be sure to tell them Sunny Mornings sent you by. And now, back to the show. Let's talk science. At just 4 months old, babies in bilingual homes display unique brain patterns, setting them apart from their monolingual peers. A study led by Boria Blanco at the University of Cambridge revealed that when exposed to speech, these bilingual infants show broader and more extensive brain activation. This study used functional near-infrared spectroscopy to track changes in cerebral blood flow, highlighting differences in brain activation between infants raised in monolingual Spanish homes and those exposed to both Spanish and Basque. The bilingual babies not only had activations in the usual speech processing areas of the brain's left hemisphere, but also in the right hemisphere's corresponding areas. Interestingly, these infants reacted similarly to forward and backward speech, unlike monolingual infants who showed more interest in backward speech, possibly because it was more novel. This early brain development in bilingual infants suggests they might be better equipped to differentiate between languages from a young age, a skill that could have long-term linguistic benefits. The study underscores the profound impact early language exposure has on the developing brain. And in entertainment news, Matt Damon, celebrated for his role as Jason Bourne, is keen on joining a potential new Bourne movie. Reports emerged in November about a possible new installment, with Edward Berger, acclaimed for the movie, All Quiet on the Western Front, rumored to direct. On a Late Show with Stephen Colbert, Damon confirmed Berger's involvement and expressed enthusiasm about working with him. However, Damon, now 53, acknowledged the challenges of playing the action-packed role at his age, hinting at a possible future recast. The Bourne series, based on Robert Ludlum's novels, has seen Damon star in 4 of its 5 films. The new project, still in early stages at Universal, has no confirmed cast, but Damon is a likely first choice. Damon's recent works include Oppenheimer, Drive Away Dolls, and a forthcoming project with Ben Affleck. Well, alrighty folks, it's time for the quote of the day. And today, our quote comes from Matt Damon in Rounders. Great movie. Listen, here's the thing. If you can't spot the sucker in your first half hour at the table, then you are the sucker. Goof. Brutal. And that's a wrap for this morning. Remember to stay tuned tomorrow for more news and updates. Have an amazing day, my good friends.